Greetings to all Jujutsu Kaisen fans! How often have you thought about the turning points in your favorite anime? About those exact seconds where one tiny detail could completely flip the rules of the game. Today, we're diving into one of the darkest and most intriguing alternate realities of this series. What if on December 24th, during the night parade of 100 demons, Suguru Geto was a little faster, more cunning, or luckier? What if he defeated Yuta Okkotsu and achieved his ultimate goal, absorbing Rika Orimoto, the Queen of Curses? Get comfortable as we begin our tale of a world where the balance of power collapsed overnight. The plot diverges from the original during the climax of the battle within the walls of Tokyo Jujutsu High. Yuta Okkotsu is preparing to unleash Rika's full power through pure love to destroy his opponent. But in this reality, Suguru, being a genius strategist and special grade sorcerer, anticipates this move. Instead of relying solely on the brute strength of his technique, he uses a diversion, a hidden curse that attacks perception. A split second of Yuta's hesitation is all it takes. Geto lands a fatal blow. Yuta falls, his connection with Rika cracks, and in that moment, Suguru activates his curse manipulation technique. The process of absorbing the Queen of Curses is accompanied by a release of incredible energy, destroying the remnants of the school. Rika fiercely resists, but Yuta's death breaks her will, and she turns into a black, pulsating mass of energy that Geto absorbs. When Satoru Gojo arrives at the scene, he finds only ruins, the lifeless body of his student, and Suguru Geto, whose aura now distorts space itself. Geto doesn't engage in combat. He got what he wanted, and now he needs time to master his new power. He vanishes into the shadows, leaving Satoru alone with the greatest failure of his life. Absorbing Rika drastically changes Geto's arsenal. In the original story, his main weakness was the need to painstakingly collect curses and expend them permanently when using the Uzumaki technique. Now, thanks to Rika's bottomless reservoir of cursed energy, Geto gains the ability not only to buff his lower-level curses to unimaginable limits, but also to use the Queen of Curses herself as an infinite power generator. Moreover, Rika possesses the ability to unconditionally copy others' techniques. Geto quickly figures out how to utilize this gift. He becomes a sorcerer with no blind spots. The Jujutsu higher-ups fall into a panic. The conservative elders declare Suguru Geto a national-level threat. Here begins the most interesting and massive plot deviation. Because Suguru Geto survived and became practically invincible, the ancient sorcerer Kenjaku never gets his body. The villain's plan to start the culling game and merge humanity with Tengen is on the verge of collapse, as he desperately needed the curse manipulation technique to achieve this. Kenjaku is forced to remain in the shadows. He realizes that the real Suguru Geto with Rika is an uncontrollable variable, whose ideology of wiping out non-sorcerers contradicts his own centuries-old plans. A third hidden power emerges in the world. Kenjaku tries to manipulate the disaster curses, Mahito, Jogo, Hanami, and Dagon, pitting them against Geto to weaken his competitor using others' hands. But this plan fails miserably. Geto, wielding Rika's power, easily defeats the disaster curses and absorbs them one by one. Now his limitless arsenal includes Mahito's idol transfiguration, Jogo's destructive magma, and Hanami's nature manipulation. Geto becomes quite literally the invulnerable god of the new world. Time passes. The moment arrives when Yuji Itadori eats the first finger of Sukuna. However, the Jujutsu world by this time has already turned into a brutal dystopia. Satoru Gojo, having survived the loss of Yuta and realizing what kind of monster his best friend has become, changes drastically. His former lightheartedness and eternal smile vanish forever. He trains his new students, Megumi, Nobara, and Yuji, with ruthless military strictness. Gojo understands that Itadori, as the vessel of the King of Curses, is the only potential weapon capable of helping in the coming war. The Tokyo and Kyoto schools no longer hold friendly exchange events. They are merged into a harsh, militarized camp where students are sent on deadly missions with one goal: to become strong enough to survive the approaching storm. Instead of the complex and stealthy Shibuya Incident, the real Suguru Geto launches an open war. He doesn't need to weave schemes or seal Gojo in the prison realm. Geto is absolutely confident that with Rika and his army of absorbed special-grade curses, he can kill Satoru in a fair fight. Geto begins massive purges of non-sorcerers in Japan's major cities. He summons millions of curses, creating actual exclusion zones. The world plunges into bloody chaos. Geto issues a manifesto calling on all hidden curse users to join him and build a paradise free of ordinary people. Many, tired of the Elder's oppression, defect to his side. The climax of this storyline is the Battle of Tokyo, a full-scale war at the center of which unfolds the clash between the two strongest, Satoru Gojo versus Suguru Geto. Geto uses everything: Mahito's domain, Jogo's destructive fire, and Rika's infinite cursed energy. The sky over the city splits from the pressure of their auras. Satoru quickly realizes a terrifying truth: ordinary methods won't pierce this absolute defense. Rika absorbs any incoming damage, and Geto instantly regenerates using cursed energy, and then Gojo takes extreme measures. Understanding that the fate of all humanity is at stake, he makes the most brutal binding vow upon his own life. Forfeiting his future and burning away his life energy without a trace, Gojo removes absolutely all limits on his abilities. The space around him distorts and compresses. Satoru Gojo unleashes an attack of unimaginable power upon his former best friend, a 200% hollow purple. This is not just a destructive strike. This monstrous mass of paradoxical energy literally erases matter from reality itself. Rika, woven from pure cursed energy, and Suguru Geto, blinded by his ambitions, don't even have time to process what happened. They vanish in a blinding flash, leaving not a single atom behind. Satoru emerges from this grand battle as the undisputed victor, proving his status as the strongest one last time before collapsing from critical exhaustion. This epic victory triggers a chain of events that saves the Jujutsu world from an impending nightmare. The ancient sorcerer Kenjaku is left with nothing. Since Suguru Geto's body was literally erased into nothingness by Gojo's attack, the villain loses his only chance to obtain the cursed manipulation technique. His 1,000-year plan plummets into the abyss. Without this key element, he is stripped of the ability to start a new era and is forced to lay low once again. The butterfly effect doesn't end there. Because Geto had previously absorbed the disaster curses, Mahito, Jogo, and Hanami, they were completely destroyed alongside him in the epicenter of the Hollow Purple. As a result, major events of the original plot are wiped out. No Shibuya massacre. There is no longer a force capable of orchestrating this massive terrorist attack. There is no one to cast the curtains over Tokyo, and thousands of innocent lives are saved. The culling game is cancelled. Without Mahito and his idol transfiguration technique, and without Kenjaku's coordination, the death game never begins. Japan is saved from turning into a bloody arena. And what about Sukuna? Without Kenjaku actively pulling the strings and directing cursed spirits, the two-faced king remains a hostage to the situation. Yuji Itadori never gets dragged into a vortex of events where he would be forced to consume a critical mass of fingers in a short time. The remaining fragments of Sukuna's soul stay securely sealed in storehouses or scattered across the world with no chance of reuniting. In the end, the world of Jujutsu Kaisen avoids an absolute apocalypse. The price was colossal, but Satoru Gojo's sacrifice permanently broke the gears of fate, gifting the new generation of sorcerers a chance at a peaceful future.